Lucas.
Evie.
Oh, don't. No, that is not what we do.
Hello, welcome back to the Let's Get Bread podcast, where we talk about all things food, money, sex, and religion. I always fuck up that order. It's like the four.
It's not in order of priority. It's in order of what the heart wants.
Yeah.
So you said food first.
I did, which is bizarre because we hardly ever talk about food.
Well, I just gave you a durian candy.
And it tasted like fart. It tasted like fart. And for the record, I don't actually know what that tastes like, but I bit into this candy, which we just brought back from Taiwan. We'll get into it. And I had durian while we were there. I enjoyed it. That was actually my favorite thing I had night one in Taiwan at the night market. And this candy, I was like expecting to enjoy. I bit into it and it felt like I shot a waft of fart to the back of my throat. And I was like, wait. And then I took another bite and then another waft. And I was like, oh no, I'm trapped.
So we had frozen durian in Taiwan. So it was not prescription strength durian, what we had when we were on the street there. And the sign at the shop said, this is not fresh durian, which is why you liked it.
Oh, God.
So that being said, we just got back from Asia. We took a little boat trip to Asia.
We did, just a little gaycation.
Just a little gaycation. Did 3 cities in Japan, and then went to Taiwan to stay in Taipei. Mm-hmm. How was it, Lucas?
I mean, I loved it. I was a little nervous, I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoy you. I like you.
Yeah.
It was just the two of us in Japan, and then thank God for your friends, Eddie and Richard, for breaking that up a little bit. Maybe. But I did not. My friends how'd it go? How did things go? You and Everett. And I was like, honestly, it was so much fun. There were a few times where we kind of got crabby with each other, and we'll get into it. But overall, I had so much fun.
Yeah. What a darling time. I was thinking about this too, how I'm so glad we started in Japan and finished in Taiwan. I was so glad to, my two friends, Richard and Eddie.
God. For the record, Everett, he will randomly break into an Australian accent or just all these accents all the time. So for example, anytime he says no, it's always nor. And it's that's Australian. Or he'll just add these random New England accents. And it's just, I don't think anything of it. We were in the back of a taxi, and it was the very last night in Japan, and we were exhausted. We had spent the whole time we were in Japan traveling, planes, trains, automobiles. And he just whipped out my Richard. This New England Jackie O, accent. And I remember looking in your eyes and there was no sparkle. And so I was wait, this isn't a part of the bit. This is his genuine, tired voice.
I just went Grey Gardens. When I get really tired, I go Grey Gardens. It was a lot. But so we, my good pals, Richard and Eddie, I hadn't seen them in 20 actual years.
That's crazy.
That's not dog years, that's human years. 20 of them. Nuts. Utterly nuts. But yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of quality time together, in a foreign and strange land.
Yep.
2 of them, in fact. And it was in the same way that earlier we talked about how it's tough to go on a road trip with trade to a beach. This was an order of magnitude bigger of a risk, which is traveling internationally with weird food.
Yep.
And with one of the bro fags, but still, it's how is this going to go? Are we going to travel well together?
Will we be friends at the end?
Will we be friends?
Will there be a podcast?
When we got in the car with Lucas's roommate, very kindly took us to the airport and picked us up. And when we got back, one of the first things I said to him was well, Lucas and I are getting a divorce.
And I don't think I'll be seeing Everett Roberts ever again. Or no, what was the Lisa Rinna quote?
I don't think we'll ever see Denise. I wouldn't be surprised if we ever see Denise Richards again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but in Japan, we did Tokyo, we did Kyoto, we did Hiroshima, we did 2 days in Tokyo, 2 in...
I think it was 2 in Kyoto, 3 in Kyoto.
3 in... Yeah. No, 3 in Tokyo, 2 in Kyoto, 1 in Hiroshima.
That's it, right. A day trip out to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
To do over again, probably maybe should have done a little less.
I'm glad we saw all 3. My favorite ended up being Hiroshima, to be honest with you. And so had we not, I feel that would have been the thing I would have cut if I were planning a new trip. But I'm so glad we saw it.
Oh, that was the only thing I wanted to see in Japan, actually. That was actually Tokyo, great, whatever. Kyoto. I mean, I guess Hiroshima, as an American, that is the one site on the planet other than Nagasaki, like, oh, this is something my stupid country did to this stupid country way back when. And it's the only use of nuclear weapons on a civilian body. I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I burst into tears 3 separate times at that museum.
Oh, God, that was so heavy. Yeah. Such a privilege to get to, like, be there, though, and, like, see it. And just, like, I don't want to say pay my respects, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we also had a white cab driver in Hiroshima.
That was crazy.
That was
Indiana.
nuts. A white man from Indiana.
You were not at all, like, it took Everett, like, all of 15 seconds to be like, why are you white? And I was like, Everett.
Listen, it's different. It's different when you're white and living in China or Japan. People just, it is just, like, the old rules don't apply over there. Okay. Let me tell you, when you're white in China, for instance, people will just straight up be like, so you're white. How is it? Like, oh, it's pretty fucking sweet over here. I got to tell you. It was nuts. The guy from Indiana has a Japanese wife, just had a baby, or is going to have a baby. Shout out to Zach. Hey, Zach. And, and he's one of, I think he said 2 foreigners who've driven cabs in Hiroshima. The other one was a Vietnamese man who was before his time. But yeah, I remember we were out of the train station. It's like, oh, we got to get to the museum. How do we get there? And not only does the cab pull over, but there's a white man behind the wheel. And I turned to Lucas and says, well, I'll be goddamned, it's a white man.
I am also just plucked that I always ask this. I'm like, so what is, like, the cost of living here? Like, how much do you pay in, like, rent? Like, do you own a home? And he's like, oh, we're going to take my, like, father-in-law or my parent-in-law's home, but we live in, like, a 1-bedroom right now. And the conversion was like $600 American dollars or
400 is what it said.
400 for, like, a 1-bedroom. And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, we really do be getting, like, thrifted over here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what life in Hiroshima is like necessarily. It seems like a really charming town. It seems like the most natively Japanese place that we've been to.
But like, it has enough going on. Like, that's the 3rd largest city in that country. You know,
is it? Oh, I didn't know it.
So, like, comparatively, maybe not 3rd, but
it's a major
Osaka
city.
Is bigger, yeah.
I mean,
but it would be like a Minneapolis.
It's on the Shinkansen.
Yeah.
It's on the bullet train, kids.
Ooh, which I loved.
I liked the bullet train too. And I don't know. I just, moving to Japan would be such, for me, like, I found Japan was really, really difficult because the language barrier stressed me out, which you did not care even a whit.
Not at all. No. I was, you and I are very different, but like you are like an intellectual when it comes to, like, you know, like, lots of languages. You, like, studied like Chinese, and, like, I just knew, I was like, if I even attempt to study this, like, I would have had to start a year ago. And so I just knew going in, like, I'm going to know nothing and I'm just going to be here for the ride.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I realized that in the travels I've done, I'm very rarely anywhere where I haven't at least got some familiar. That sounds like such a douchey thing to say. I just mean to say I've traveled to places where I know some of the language, some which way, shape, or form. Well,
and, like, Japanese and Mandarin, like, are not the same, obviously, but, like, the characters, like, are similar, so I could see where maybe that would, like, stress you out.
I mean, I could get us around train stations. Like, I can figure out for the most part which trains we were going on to which cities, like that. All I could read, but as soon, like, it took me so long to figure out how to read the Japanese katakana for sushi, and they're really simple. Like, that's a dumb first word that to struggle to read in Japanese, but alas, I learned too late. And then when we went to the only good sushi joint, it was full of Japanese people.
Well, and it's good because they only allow, like, 10 seats. Yeah, right. So that's how you know it's good, because they actually, like, want to make you, like, a decent meal. And of course, all 10 seats were filled. And then actually 9 were. So one of us could have booted the other out the door. Right. Which would have led to a divorce. But I mean, we did find that one restaurant where the guy was like, I don't want to wait on foreigners. Oh, yeah, that was crazy. He handed us a sheet of paper, was like, you need to buy alcohol, and what else?
And you need to speak Japanese. Yeah. And there were 3 white women at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably spoke Japanese. But he just, like, scowling, gave us this paper. And, like, I remember this from China, where every now and again you find a stressed out Chinese person who doesn't want to deal with whitey. I'm like, I get it. Maybe it was a long day, whatever.
And then because we were turned away there, we ended up going to a place and we got the coldest,
lukewarmest
pho.
No, it wasn't pho. It was ramen, and it was
yeah, sorry,
really bad.
really bad. Kind of like, it didn't necessarily, the taste wasn't bad, but the texture of it and just being cold. I'd never had cold ramen before, which I think is maybe more common over there, but I just was like, ooh.
It should have been hot. In theory, it should have been hot. It was lukewarm. And then, of course, there was duck in it. And duck, usually you want that a nice rare duck meat. I don't know if you've ever had a lukewarm duck rare. You're like, oh, this is just not up to house standards. So I'm just going to catch a bug from this, which I didn't, fortunately. What you could do.
I will say Kyoto I loved. It was, I was thinking it would be a little bit more hipster, and it was actually way more like old school. Like it reminded me of like, I obviously wasn't alive during this period, but it reminded me of like New York City in the 70s. Like when I watched like New York films, like French Connection, whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or like honestly, like kind of like Amsterdam. And Tokyo was just totally, I mean, New York. I mean, it was just pretty much a cleaner New York.
We stayed near a Denny's in Tokyo.
That was great. Honestly, don't hate me. I wish we would have eaten there just once, just for the bit.
So glad we did not go to Denny's in Tokyo.
That's like getting married in Vegas. Like, I love it.
That was nuts. Yeah, one of my favorite things to laugh at Lucas about, because we'd walk around in Tokyo, be like, this is like Minneapolis. This is like the farmer's market.
I'm just a small town girl, okay? I like to place myself. And there was this little area where I was like, oh, this is like the farmer's market in Minneapolis.
We were at Yoyogi by a great big stadium, and he's like, oh, this is like Target Field. We're like on our way to the Imperial Gardens.
Look, listen, I just like to feel at home wherever I go.
Yeah, we're walking around Harajuku. He's like, oh, this is just like, it's like Cleveland. I'm like, exactly.
First of all, never been to Cleveland. But yeah, no, I was quickly embarrassed. That's a good call out.
It was a delight. And weirdly, none of those comparisons happened in Taiwan.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japan, success. What are you going to do? A great time. If you're thinking of going to Japan, go by all means. You might want to invest in learning some Japanese. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. You'll want probably someone who's on the ground already, or hire a guide. I wish we'd hired a guide.
Yeah, I could not have cared less like about that part of it, because I did so much research. Like how we planned our trip was like I covered Japan and then you covered Taiwan.
Yeah.
And so like I knew everything about like the things and how to keep busy and what to go and see. Like couldn't read the signs and stuff, but I think like, I don't know, I felt fine. But I also feel like I'm good flying by the seat of my pants. Like I don't need to know really much.
Yeah. It was, again, the language barrier was really, really threw me.
I just couldn't have cared less.
I know, it was so funny. It just, we got into a cab and we're going at the Sakura Cross Hotel. I'm like, Sakura, that's a Japanese word. And then you ask the driver, you're like, Sakura Cross? Like, that's not a Japanese sound. He's not going to know what that is. The guy just looks back and like, what?
Back to white cab driver. Obviously, he speaks Japanese.
He sure did.
I asked him, I was like, so what made you want to move to Japan? He's like, well, I started speaking it in high school. And I was like, oh, where did you grow up? Indiana. Northwest Indiana? Yeah. And I was like, oh, so it's like a private school. No, public. And I was like, what fucking public school in Indiana is teaching Japanese?
Who can say? Maybe it was the Stranger Things kids school.
Oh, sure.
Is
that in Indiana?
I think it was Hawkins, Indiana. Yeah, maybe he was from Stranger Things.
You could really, Halloween's coming up. You could really serve 11. You could give her Millie Bobby Brown realness.
Give me a bad haircut and a stomach parasite.
Oh, mama, we'll get to the
stomach parasite. To the stomach parasite. Damn, it was a good time. I also I have this crazy thing where I get to be fucking unbearable to be around when I'm about to get on an airplane. Something happens, and I'm a woman of a certain age now where if I've got air travel in my immediate future, I suddenly grow spines, I breathe fire, and I start to become extremely trying to be near.
Everett is for sure. And it's interesting because I know you pretty well, but I did learn some things. And one thing I learned, and I knew this about him already, but you're very punctual. You're always on time. And then like, I know that like, I'm just someone where I'm 5 to 10 minutes late. Like I'm a little careless. Like 15 minutes before I leave my house is when I like get the energy to like do my chores and do all my stuff. It's really irresponsible. I should change. But anyway, I knew this about you. But like you have such anxiety about like missing that flight. Like I remember we got to the airport like 2 hours in advance and we were sitting by the gate and I'm like, do you want to go shopping? You're like, no. And I'm like, you will not miss it.
I needed
like,
5 minutes to just get my feathers settled again. I don't know what it is. I wasn't always like this. This was not always a thing. And I realized my mother has this, I almost went Truman Capote, right? My mother has this thing where she also just anxiety spikes, where she's just, like, she will lash out and cut you to ribbons at the drop of a hat if it's a flying day.
And we had such a long, so we had an early morning flight. We had such a long day the night before. That was the day where Jackie O like made an appearance.
Oh, yeah. My bitchy.
And like, we had to go from Tokyo and we flew out of what? Narita. Yeah. Which
is in the next prefecture over.
Yeah. So it was a 40-minute train ride. We didn't get there until like 11 p.m. And then you were trying to like check our bags or get us started. And it wasn't working out. And you're just like, well, I guess we have to do it at the airport.
I was barely keeping the lid on whatever evil was bubbling up inside stress-wise. And I was like, you know what? We both had a long day. He had a massage. And I'm just gonna take a few deep breaths. I'm gonna slump over, go to sleep, and I'm going to say good night before I go to sleep, so it doesn't sound like I'm pissed off.
Oh my God. That massage. He put me actually, he tore me apart.
Yeah.
It was like one of those where you're like, like you're like trying so hard not to scream. That was fucking good.
Yeah, that was nice for you. I'm glad you had that.
I know. And then I was so excited. I was like, oh, we had plans to go to like the American Comedy Bar. This is which is like every comedian we talked to before going on this trip was like, you need to stop there.
Jay Light had said, go to this comedy club, and I was really, really wanting to go. And then I saw that you had to have signed up 2 weeks prior. Which immediately I'm gonna like
to perform.
Yeah, for at a mic. I'm like, I throw my hands up and I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself. 2 weeks in advance. I can't. What? And then you still wanted to go, and at that point, I just whatever last few fuses in my brain that were sparking and setting fire to the curtains. It's just not.
I left my massage. It was like 7 p.m. The comedy show's at like 9. And I was like all set, so happy, so relieved. All the kinks from traveling were like out of my back. And then all of a sudden, Everett's like, we're not going. And I was like, okay, I need to bring my happiness down because we're not in the same spot.
No, indeed we weren't.
But in hindsight, it's good we didn't, because we had to take the train and it was just a long night.
That was good. We were on the Tokyo subway on our way to the Narita station.
God.
And a man got on the train, a fat man, I'd like to point out, who is Japanese and still is. And he just open mouth coughing, talking on his phone, eating, he's picked his nose and put his finger in his mouth.
Babe, pig in the city. Like, disgusting.
I wanted to log on to the dark web to order a drone strike on all of us on that train.
Picture like your overweight Midwestern uncle who like before he pees has to like, like he was like doing this in front of everyone.
It was astounding. I mean, obviously, everybody knows the Japanese are generally very, very polite, except for that one brief time in the 1930s and 40s. And you don't do that sort of thing. Even in our stupid country, you probably, wouldn't open mouth cough all over a bunch of Japanese people. I wouldn't do that in these United States. And this man, I shit you not, Lucas was fast asleep next to me on the train because, God smiles on the people who deserve it least. And I opened up my suitcase, pulled out a mask, put it on, and then pulled out another mask and gave it to Lucas. We was like, if we catch the grip from this idiot. And the kid, he was probably in his 20s, but very clearly, like he ate his big sushi wrapped, rice wrapped sushi, and then just put the wrapper on the seat and just left it there after him. Like I think he wanted to have a fight. But I was just glaring at this, staring in agog, and the people next to him were horrified.
Yeah.
Could not get off that train quick enough. And then we got to our grim airport hotel, and then it was off to Taiwan. And that was the turn of the page.
It was. I will say, I caught a little, and again, we're traveling together, right? So we're going to get annoyed of each other. You wanted to be murdered the first night in Kyoto because we had to buy our train tickets for Hiroshima. And so like we got off our train in Kyoto and then like we're like, well, we're already at the station and we'll have to go to Hiroshima tomorrow. And like, let's just get our tickets now. We'll deal with it versus doing it early in the morning. And Everett, again, this is what I learned about you, is like like you didn't know the language on the screen. And like you were like clicking through the buttons to get to like the right ticket.
No, we did it in English. It just, the wording was dumb and stupid.
Oh, here's what set you off. It printed like 9 tickets. No, I don't know why we have 9 tickets.
Yeah.
And so I'm like looking at it and I'm like a little concerned because I saw like it was $43,000 in yen, Japanese yen. And so I like, and I should have looked before saying this, was like, man, that feels like really expensive. And that gave you so much anxiety where you're like, well, I don't know. I need to shower.
I just had it. I told you on wherever we were, I was like, all I had was that Joe Exotic meme in my head of like, I'm never going to financially recover from this. That's just, that kept blazing across my mind. And then you're sitting there, you're like,
well, and I was
a lot of tickets, huh? And I'm like, give me a minute. And then you just kept like, maybe it's not the bad. I said, I need you to give me a minute. And you wouldn't do.
Well, because I was trying to comfort you and be like, well, I'm just trying to figure this. And you're like, please stop. And I was like, okay, but I like couldn't because I was also like, wait, did we just spend $400 on train tickets? And then I finally did the conversion thing, which I should have done from the jump. And I was like, oh, this is actually very normal.
And it was normal and it was fine. And then I was like, okay, let me just. I also, this trip, I mean, I think I'm now maybe 9 months into this new job. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still operating in the mindset of like, I've been 15 months unemployed. The next paycheck is who knows when it's coming in. I mean, when I both have been in that same place. So like brainily, I'm still in the Joe Exotic. I will never financially recover from getting this coffee.
Yep.
So the prospect of having spent upwards of 50,000 yen on Shinkansen tickets, like, Mommy needs a Xanax. Mommy hears you, and Mommy needs a Z.
Oh, God. The ongoing bits. There was like 5 bits. And this is what I actually loved the most about traveling with you is like, you don't let a bit die. And I really appreciate that because I'm the same way. I will laugh about the same joke like over and over and over again. Mommy hears you.
We started gentle parenting each other.
Totally.
A little bit during the Taiwan, I guess in Japan into Taiwan because, you know, nerves are fraying.
Adding in like a good like grand dame, like, do you suppose?
Oh my God. What was the one thing you noticed? Like, Everett, we are in the second largest city.
Oh yeah, we were getting breakfast and you were a little disappointed at where we landed on like the place. You're like, we're in Japan and we're at this like egg and bacon diner thing. And I was like, Everett, we are in one of the greatest countries in this entire world. And somehow, some way, you found a way to bore me. And then that like introduced this like new bit where we would just keep bringing that up every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it kept the romance alive. What can I say? Also, spoiler alert, I was disappointed about that place, but Japanese style pancakes. Oh man.
Yeah, 2. I will say this. When I got to 3, I was like, okay, this is a lot. But I do think that's just a pancake thing.
Yeah, I mean they were so fluffy.
Yep.
Custardy.
Yep.
Nice. Yep. Really lovely. Just adore a Japanese style pancake.
Well, and I did warn Everett. I said, you know, at the very beginning of the trip, I looked him dead in the eye and I said, don't you dare fall in love with me on this trip. I said, don't you dare. Under no circumstances. I know we're traveling alone together. I know I have like these beautiful green eyes. I know they're really charismatic and beautiful and hot, but don't you dare fall in love with me. And it turned out I ended up falling in love with you.
I gave you my belt, yeah.
That was the nicest thing. I think I have never had a man do that. I bought these jeans, these jeans from a thrift store. They're really cute. They're the right length. And I have these weird legs where I'm just like, I always have to have my jeans tailored. Or
they're the right shape. They're just wrong.
They're just wrong.
Yeah.
And they were just loose around the hip, which was such a bummer. And I was like, do you have a belt? And you're like, well, I have one. And I was like, could I use it? You guys, he took it off his own body and gave it to me. And I said, and then I felt like a piece of shit. Because I was like, well, no, like you should wear it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And you're like, no. And then I was like, you wouldn't take it back. So then I had to take it. And I was like, I'm in love with you.
Oh, hey, but you locked that right up right now. That's not what we said.
Well, and I think I brushed your shoulder and
hate it so much. Yeah. So I was really glad to get away from Lucas for a little bit when we got to Taiwan.
we needed the extra help. 1 or 2 more days. I think one of us might have, Casey Anthony'd it, but
yeah. But I mean, Taiwan was a revelation. It was absolutely a sleeper hit.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously would go back to Japan at the drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. What a darling place. And with somebody who wasn't Lucas, who knew Japanese more specifically.
You did say that. And I remember my feelings were like a little hurt because it was early in the morning. And you're like, yeah, no, it was good. I wish, I would have been with someone who knew Japanese. And I was like, I can't tell if I'm being sensitive or not. However, ultimately, I think that was rude.
You were being sensitive, and I was being rude. Yes.
I was like, wait, I'm not good enough.
No, I mean, beforehand, I did have a couple friends from grad school, one of whom was a Japanese interpreter. Yeah, I imagine she still is American, but speaks flawless Japanese. And Celine is her name, and she would have been so fabulous to have as a guide for our trip in Japan, which is really all. Mommy hears you. Mommy, that's not what mommy meant. And you're reading insults into it. But also Lucas was not useful in Japan to navigate.
I planned our entire trip. I got to where we were. Oh, I'm going to pay you. We're going to move on to Taiwan. I will give you another compliment. So I am like a go person on trips. And I soon learned Everett is more of like a park and barker. Or like loves to sit, loves to lounge. Post up. Like, not that you're like, like boring or whatever you're trouble with, but like I knew like in Kyoto, I was like, I'm going to go to the monkey park. I'm going to go to the bamboo grove. Yeah. These are things that are non-negotiables. They're the things that I'm looking forward to the most. And I remember we left the palace in Kyoto, which was closed, which sucked. And you just were like, I will meet you at the train station. I'm not going to go and do these active, like, whatever things.
Hike. Well, it was way far out, too. We had each other's locations on our phone, and I watched as you kept going further and further and further away. I was like, Jesus, Jones, where are you going?
So, like, near the Bamboo Grove, there's, like, this monkey park, and you have to do, like, a 2 or 3 mile hike to get to the top. Well, this was all on a Sunday, and I have no idea whether or not this impacted, like, whether things were open, but I do this 3 mile hike, in like probably 40, 45 minutes. I get to the top and the monkey park is closed. And I'm sure on these signs, it probably said closed in Japanese, to your point. So I'm like, this could have been helpful. I'm really upset. Like, this is the one thing I wanted to like feed monkeys bananas, whatever. And so then I'm like, God damn it. So then I like run back down, do the Bamboo Grove, and it was all great. But like, I'm so glad you just said, I'm not doing this. Because if you would have come and been like a little bit, like, I just thought, I was like, I got to the top and I was like, thank God Everett's not here. Because I would have never heard from it. Like, the trip would have been over.
Yeah, I'm good about drawing a boundary that way. I told you from the start, I do not fuck with monkeys. No. Not even a little bit. I don't want them on me. I don't want them near me. I don't want to give them things. I don't want to see their cute little faces scrunch up with delight as they snatch my passport and my face off my skull. Not even a little bit interested.
But I truly am like, I think more people should do that. Like, just be like really honest, because I think a lot of people might have just gone, sucked it up, and then been annoying or whiny and like ruined the trip with that person. But I also have no trouble like doing like things alone.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a little bit older than you are, and my body's getting older. And I have walked more in Japan, I think, than I probably have the entire calendar year combined. It felt like
that might be the issue.
I'm not nearly as much of a dog walker as you are.
True.
And I know, like, so during the great pandemic, I took to running, as a lot of people did, and within 20 minutes of running, all of a sudden my left knee was just killing me. Like, I could go upstairs, couldn't walk downstairs without hobbling. So I've been working on this. This is, I now get to say that I have a mobility issue, and my pronouns are he, him, with a mobility issue. And it's always something I have to think about where, if I have to walk for an hour, am I going to be limping? Am I going to be indisposed? Am I going to be a shitty kitty about it?
That's why I see you in the scooter.
So when in Japan, as we're walking around all over, at the back of my mind is always the worry, like, what happens when my knee starts to go? And I'm just going to look at me like, I've had a good life. Leave me behind.
You did whip out your kit. My feet hurt. My feet hurt. And I was like, stop it right now.
Feet hurt.
I will spank you in front of God and everyone right now.
That was the one time Lucas actually got visibly angry as I'd look at him. My feet hurt.
And understandably, like, I'm just learning about this mobility. Like, if you'd have said mobility, like, if you'd have given it a name, I just thought you were being a whiny little bitch.
No.
Like, I grew up in a house where we just, like, I remember a soccer game. I got pelted in the face with the ball. I laid down and cried, and my dad said, that was embarrassing. You know what I mean? So I like,
way to pull focus.
When people are like hurt, I'm just like, I don't know, you'll get through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I had been doing. But then fortunately through the magic of yoga, I've been, I'm able to move around pretty much. It was fine, but it was I mean, it's a real concern. It was just like, oh, if whatever happens and my joints are just like screeching metal on each other, that's really going to be a bummer.
Totally.
So a 3-mile hike in the rain to Bamboo to see monkeys, to get my face snatched off.
Even though I didn't get to the monkey park, that hike was so awesome, though.
It looked lovely.
It was
Your photographs were beautiful.
Yeah.
But, you know, yes, limits are important. And Lucas learned his limits in Taiwan, I think.
Bitch.
We had, and Taiwan was, before we get to that, fabulous. Kids, go to Taiwan. Okay, before 2027. The Chinese were coming. Okay.
So I have friends who are Taiwanese, and I have obviously heard of it. I learned so much about the culture. I learned so much about its relationship to the world as a country, as its relationship to China. Like, it is such a beautiful country that truly not enough people talk about. Like, I had no idea I wanted to go there until being there. And the only reason I went is because you suggested it.
Yeah. And I saw, it was fab. I saw, again, my two friends I hadn't seen in 20 years when...
Yeah, explain how you know them, why. Yeah.
Right. So Eddie, I met Eddie in 2004. I was a foreign exchange student in Beijing, and he was living in Beijing with his family. He's Taiwanese American, grew up mostly in California, and then spent a lot of time in Beijing as a youth. So he and I met when we were teenagers. I mean, we were 14 and 15 when we first met. And so we were just essentially feral children running around Beijing. I dropped out of school in China and we just drank our stupid faces off and, you know, just had a fabulous, you know, sort of gap year in high school, if you will. And then
you finished on time in America. Like,
I sure did.
They didn't even cross-check your...
No, I got back to my high school in Delaware and they're like, sure, whatever. Like, who are they going to call? They're going to call it Xicheng Foreign Language School in Beijing and talk to the people who didn't speak English at that school. It was public school in China. I got put into a Beijing public school. There were no English speakers there except the English teacher.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Beijing in the summer of 2007 to teach English for the summer. Hideous job. Wouldn't recommend. And that's when I met my Richard. And Richard is also Chinese American, but grew up in between New Jersey, New York, and Beijing. And Richard and Eddie, we all became very fast friends that summer. And then just 20 years went by.
So, yeah, I don't even think I know all the way. Do you all just keep in touch on
not
Instagram?
really. Not that much.
But, like, you follow each other, you see life updates, and, like, just kind of, like...
No, not really.
Wow.
Like, Richard, I kept in touch with a little better than Eddie, but Eddie... I think the last time I'd spoken to Eddie had probably been a good 15 years. It had been a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I'd forgotten completely that he'd been married and divorced.
Well, and from, like, I'm the outsider. I didn't know any of these people other than you, but it just seemed like you all were, like, fast friends. And I mean, you are, obviously, but it felt like you all knew each other really, really well. And, like, you do in a way. But
yeah. It's really crazy to think about that. I mean, I had the same relationship. So I went, maybe 3 years ago now, I went to London to meet up with the only other foreign exchange student in my Chinese public school, a German gal named Lisa. Hi, Lisa. And she and I met in London. We hadn't seen each other in 13 years at that point. And that was much the same, just like picked up exactly where we left off. It was fabulous, utterly fabulous. And I mean, we got to Taiwan. I had no idea, you know, what to expect. I figured, you know, like Eddie would tell us, get on this train, go here. Eddie picked us up at the airport, drove us back to Taipei. We were staying at the same hotel. And it was just from the first moment, it was like, I almost got verklempt when I saw him. I don't know if you noticed, but I very nearly got very verklempt seeing him for the first time in 20 years. It was lovely. And then Eddie, it didn't hit me until we'd gone out. Eddie has been tour guide for whoever it is that's passed through Taipei as they've come through. So we went to the night market on the first night. We saw Richard, and Eddie could not get out of there fast enough.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very narrow street on a good day, but during the night market, it's the center of the street is filled up with market stalls, and the sides are all shops. So you're just crammed in there with two lines of people, one going, you know, I guess going north, the other one's going south, and you buy foods, a lot of weird food. And Ed's has been there however many times.
It's a staple. I'm so glad I got to see it. I would feel the same exact.
Yeah. It's like if people who come to LA and like, take us to the Walk of Fame, like,
100%.
absolutely not. And that would be where my limit would be like, nope, you have fun.
And Taipei is a extraordinarily clean city.
Yes.
That little strip, dirty kind of. And so, like, that's a really good comp where it's like the Walk of Fame you would think is like this big, nope, it's like diarrhea.
Yeah, just but Raohe is the night market we went to. And I had so much weird food.
So much weird food.
We had chicken feet, we had durian, frozen durian, we had sausages and a medicinal lamb soup that I would mud wrestle my own mother for. It was so good. What else did we have? We had like a lot of like the baozi. We had the wrapped, dumplings and all that. So much food. I was a little gassy afterwards. I kept Lucas up at night.
So just the entire trip, and mind you, like I love traveling, and so my adrenaline is like just kind of always going. So it's hard for me to like fall asleep when I'm on a trip, and then it's like not my own bed, whatever. So like I would always fall asleep about 2 hours after Everett, and then I'd also wake up 2 hours before Everett.
It was doom scrolling at 4 a.m. I would wake up and you would just be on your phone.
Well, like, okay, so
2 inches from your face, just scrolling.
And that was the thing too, is I would wake up at like 4 a.m., which I never do in America, but like the time change, it was just all so weird. And so I'm up at 4, nothing's open.
Yep. Oh, like, yeah, nothing opened until about 10.
Yeah.
In the morning, even the cafes.
Yeah. And there's no gym, like there's nowhere I can go. And so I'm like, I guess I'm just going to like be a piece of shit on my phone. Like I don't do that in my day-to-day life. Like I usually am like, I have a dog. I'm like, okay, she has to pee, whatever. Yeah. So after the night market,
I had so much food.
Just, I was sitting in bed and Everett had fallen asleep, and I would just every now and then hear like these little baby farts, just these little, and I was like, did he just fart? And like, it didn't stink. I couldn't smell it from like my side of the room, but I was like, okay. And then about 40 minutes later, same thing. And so I heard like 2 little baby farts in like 2 hours, and then I was asleep. Then I wake up, of course, and I've, again, like about 2 hours before Everett wakes up, I hear the same 2 farts spaced out at the same exact time. So if you're doing the math, I'm asleep for about 5 hours.
Yeah.
There's 9 hours Everett's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
If you're farting every 40 minutes,
there's no way to be sure.
That's at least 9 farts.
It was, listen, when I woke up, Lucas is standing in the doorway. He's like, we need to talk about something serious. And upon waking, it's never a good time to say to somebody, we need to talk about something serious, because my first thought was like, oh, I'm being fired.
And you didn't even have your eyeliner on.
I didn't have my eyeliner on, nothing. I just covers up to my chin, just cowering. Mm-hmm. It's like, little baby farts. We need to talk about your little baby farts.
I said, you need to go poop before you fall asleep.
I said, I don't fucking work for you.
I said, I think you have to poop. I think it's been there for a while. And I think I have all the evidence to say it's time you go to the bathroom. And you know what? Why don't you get onto the second floor? Because I don't want to listen.
And this is another thing about traveling together, where you're just like, what happens when you have to confront the grossest, worst side of the person you're traveling with? And gosh darn it, fair listener, wouldn't you know it, how the turntables. So we go out, we meet a friend of mine from grad school for hot pot, which I despise hot pot.
I do too.
I'm gonna be a normal baigui and say I don't love hot pot, because when I go to a restaurant, cook my goddamn food for me.
Wait on me.
Yeah, I really, truly cannot be fucking bothered to cook my own food. I appreciate very much that it's such a communal thing. And if you're at a hot pot with a bunch of people, it's a big, there's a big show of like, oh, with my job, I'm going to grab the greens. I'm going to put this stuff. I'm going to feed you. I'm cooking. Like, there's a whole ritual aspect to it.
Just to set the stage, there's like a mini stovetop on every table at this place. And so like the waiter would bring like the pots. They would like they would bring like
broth,
boiling like water broth, and then they would bring you like raw meat, raw vegetables. You would then dump them in, and it's sort of like a soupy.
Yeah, and then you also just pick it out with your chopsticks when it's cooked.
Yep.
And so we had a pot that we had to share, but it was split in the middle, so it was 2 separate broths burbling away. And off to the races. You cook your food, you grab it out, you get your veggies, you go to the buffet and whatever. It's all well and good. And afterwards, we leave the restaurant and I think, did we go to the comedy? Yeah, we went to the comedy club after that. As we're walking to the comedy club, I'm grousing about how I don't care for hot pot generally. Like, yeah, I mean,
I'm on top of the world. I was like, I thought that was great. My meal tasted awesome. Like that was really fun.
And I say, like, again, cook my food for me, please, if I'm going to have the temerity to give you money for it. And also, you're responsible for making sure that your food is cooked all the way through.
At that moment, it was a prophecy. I looked at him and I said, my tomorrow's going to suck, isn't it?
You could hear his tongue just,
Literally.
yep. And I said, oh dear. Oh dear. And he hung on bravely. We went to the Comedy Club 2-3 Club in Taipei, in what used to be, I guess, the relatively famous red light district, back when the Japanese had built up the city. So that was an interesting little bit of history. You got on stage.
My first time doing comedy since your roast.
Stand up for the first time since April of last year. Incredible. It was a darling time. I went up, I did a set partially in Chinese and partially in mostly in English. And the host was fabulous.
She's so funny.
Oh, Jamie Wang.
We're going to get her on the pod. She's moving to America.
Oh, okay. Everybody run, don't walk to look up Jamie Wang comedy. Follow her. She is a delight. And she was dressed like a cursed Victoria doll.
We judged. I love this too. She walked in and she's this mousy little, very pretty, but she was wearing these Crocs that were like
Platform Crocs.
Platform Crocs. And I said, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. And it was like an ankle length skirt too, with like a blue pull. And I said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Turns out funniest bitch.
Oh my God. Got on stage. It was just crushed. It clearly does this on the regular.
So dirty, so disgusting. It
so
totally juxtaposed her like librarian outfit. It was so funny.
So good. So she, and I did my set fabulous. We go back to that hotel, and then I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, we'll see how we're going to ride this out and see how it goes. The next day, wake up, we're supposed to go to Dihuajie, and we're supposed to go to this old historic shopping street. And you sent me a message that morning. I'd gone out with Eddie for our breakfast. What did you say to me?
I said, I'm blowing ass. I said, I'm not going.
He's not going anywhere. He's blowing ass.
And to preface this, I don't even think I'm so relieved you didn't hear this, because I woke up 3 a.m. It was like Thundercats are go. Like it's here.
Yeah.
You don't have time.
Also,
so I rushed to the bathroom and I was like, oh God, it was like, have you ever seen that bit about Amy Schumer talking about like jackhammer pooping?
No.
Where you're like holding onto the toilet, just like, oh God.
Now, even worse was our hotel, lovely Japanese hotel.
Yeah.
So, Japan, big shout out. Bidets everywhere.
Love.
Even at the humble fast food restaurant that we went and had food, there was a bidet there. Fabulous. So civilized. So at our Japanese hotel also had a bidet. Now, this hotel, what it made up for in bidets, it lacked very much in privacy, where the bathrooms were glassed in cubicles without any form of door that shut completely or locked or occluded anything. Yeah. So, the shower, for instance, glassed in cube, not even frosted glass, just fully transparent. There was a curtain you could draw across. So if you were in the sleeping area, the curtain could be drawn. You wouldn't see anything. But if you walked in while somebody was showering, you'd get the full show.
Yeah.
The bathroom cubicle, all glass, so maximum echoes. Door doesn't even close. You can still, there's like a gap in between, like a U.S. train station bathroom for some reason. Lucas was very, very cultish about that. To the point that he's like, maybe you should stay with Eddie or I'll get my own room.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, bitch, you better get your own fucking room.
I literally said I would get my own room, but if Eddie had an extra bed, like whatever, it might be easier. But as far as our room was so nice, and like, yeah, there wasn't very much privacy. I have like no modesty though. Like I could have not given two shits less about that.
You gave so many shits.
Yeah. About what? Oh, well, just being, I don't need you to hear me.
Yeah. And that was maybe not lovely either. But I went out with Eddie. I got him medicine. We went to the pharmacy, and so Eddie, took over talking to the pharmacist. She's like, "So what's wrong with him?" And I forget that, like in Chinese culture, you can just kind of be like, "Oh, yeah, he's got diarrhea. That's it." And like people don't really bat an eye. And so Eddie tells her in Chinese, like, "Yeah, 拉肚子." Like, so she looks at me and was like, "Oh no, not me. I'm cool. I got this lady." So she gives us the medicine. She's like, "Tell him only take 2 pills a day, because if he takes more, he's going to get super constipated." Okay. I got to remember how to say that in Chinese, and I've already forgotten, but whatever, brought the stuff back. And then off we went to Dihuajie and saw, and then that's where we saw the matchmaking temple for the Straits. So we went to the city temple, which is sort of this big, big is, it's a temple, and it's historic and it's beautiful. And any big politician in Taiwan, and like if you're running for mayor of Taipei, you're going to go to this temple and make offerings, Eddie said. And there's a god of matchmaking, or like a matchmaker god named Yue Lao, which means old man in the moon or old man of the moon. And young straight people go to this place and they make offerings and they pray at this temple and to help them find a match, help them find a partner. So my Richard, he went and he did bought the paper money and made the offerings at the altars, all that. And we were all trying to help Richard find a girlfriend. And Richard asked me, he's like, Everett, are you going to do offerings? Like, I don't think Yellow does gay marriage. And Eddie says, no, he doesn't. But there is a gay matchmaking god in the city. In this, there's a cult for one.
The rabbit god.
The rabbit god, Tuershen, which I feel like there's gayer animals out there. Rabbits are actually really well known for procreating the good old fashioned way. And
maybe that's it. They fuck like rabbits.
I guess that's probably what it is, but that still results in new rabbits, which...
No. Explain the like folklore about
my God. It's metal. So back in whatever dynasty, there was a soldier named Hu Tianbao, and he fell in love with a provincial official. And this soldier, he spied on this official and who was bathing and fell in love with him. The official caught him. As you do. The official caught Hu Tianbao spying on him, had Hu Tianbao executed, because that's not what we do. And then Hu Tianbao...
None of that gay shit.
None of that gay shit here in that seems like a Ming Dynasty kind of thing. Anyway, Hu Tianbao, after he's dead, comes to a friend in a dream, visits his friend in a dream in the shape of a hare. And he says to his friend, hey, I'm in hell. Hate it. But the gods of the underworld said that my crime was a crime of love. And so if you build me a temple and give me offerings, then I get to be the god of same-sex love and attraction. And so the friend did him a solid and built him a temple in what is now Fujian province, which is across the strait from Taiwan, mainland China. And for however long, same-sex attracted men would go to this temple, give offerings, and pray to the rabbit god Tuershen, Hu Tianbao, to get them to find them a mate. Now, in the Qing dynasty, the officials tore the temple down because they said it was a licentious cult and it was leading men to, vice and buggery, which it was. And so they tore the temple down, and it wasn't until 2006, I think, when gay marriage was made legal in Taiwan, that a Taoist priest rented out an office space on the 8th floor of an office building in the Yonghe district of Taipei. And under buzzing fluorescent lights, you can make offerings to Hu Tianbao to help you find a gay match. And Eddie took us to the gay matchmaking temple.
And let me tell you something. I am so grateful for that. It was so fun. It was so cool. It was such an honor. We pull up and we are outside of an apartment. And I go, Eddie, is this just like a grinder hookup? Like, are we going upstairs to just see like an open room and it's like a cum dump, or worse, it's just like a photo of RuPaul and like lights,
candles.
Yeah, like what is this? But it was legit.
It was an actual Taoist shrine in an office building.
They made you take off your shoes. You had to wear slippers.
You took off your shoes. You wore slippers. You go in and they give you bundles of paper money, which in Chinese folk religion, paper money is a big component of offerings that you give to the departed and to make as offerings to deities. So you get these packs of paper money and you write down your name, your age, your address, and then what you're looking for in a man. And so we both sat down, we wrote down what we were looking for in a man. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to ask the rabbit god to help you find this sort of thing. And so you go and you take your bundle and you give one bundle to the city god, the tiger god, Shizu, I think was the other one. I can't remember what he was the god of. And then you go to the rabbit god, and then you finally, that's where you're going to like, okay, rabbit god, I'm asking for a man with X, Y, and Z, characteristics, and you set your bundle down. Then you can also get a paper talisman, which I churlishly referred to as a power-up, and Eddie did not appreciate it, but you do. Yeah. That's what they should market it as. So we're going to see. We're going to see if the rabbit god will come through. But it also resulted in a darling bit where now every time Lucas does something I don't like, I'm like, I pray to the rabbit god to give you gout.
Mind you, I just survived food poisoning the day before.
I asked the rabbit god to make sure all your sweaters have holes in them. Paul Lind goes to Taiwan.
So what'd you write down?
What did I write down? I said I wanted a man who thinks I'm funny, And that's super important. One of I gotta tell you, one of the things that's gonna make you really charming to me is if you think I'm funny.
The way in which you would perform, like you'd be talking to me, but you were playing for like the row behind us on the Shinkansen, or like at the airport collecting bags, but it was like you were talking to me, but it was for the guy next to me. I was like, I hate comedians. I hate comedians.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. Was he needs to think I'm funny. He needs to be funny himself. I think I said something like he needs to. He needs to know what he wants with clarity.
Yeah,
he needs.
I wrote that.
Simply cannot be bothered with like, I don't know what I'm looking for. Go fuck yourself. How about that? I know what you're looking for. It's the exit. Take a hike. A few other things, and I don't even remember. I mean, I guess you should probably remember what you asked the rabbit gut. Give it. Be careful what you wish for. No, but.
I got kind of greedy. I wrote a lot. Oh, I wrote a lot.
You did write a lot. And very, very good pats on the back for me. I did not read what you wrote.
I tried to, but you kept hiding it. I tried to. I'm not, because I finished before you. And I was like, what's he write?
You got me.
And then I saw you kind of like catch me. And I was like, okay, bye.
I didn't read what you wrote. I said that's between you and the rabbit god.
Well, and also it wasn't even just like matchmaker. It was, you could write like things for yourself too, just like in general. Like I wrote about like, like my dog having like a long, healthy life.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You could do that too.
No.
Yeah. So, that was it. That was the rabbit god. And, if given the choice, would I have wanted a fabulous historical temple? Beautiful murals and sculptures? Yeah.
Which we saw, just not, that wasn't.
Yeah, not for the gays.
Yeah.
Also, no lesbian temple that I'm aware of. I didn't.
Was this only for gay men?
Yep. That's only for male homosexuals. I don't know if maybe there's a deeper underground female homosexual cult that you can make offerings to.
Let's be honest, lesbians aren't doing that hoidy-toity shit anyway. No offense.
I mean, they may.
No.
I will also point out, it was no small coincidence that at the rabbit god's shrine, they had helpful suggestions on things you could offer to the rabbit god in bold letters. Skincare products, cosmetics. Those priests were dewy fresh. Okay, there was a lot of retinol flowing through the rabbit god's shrine. Okay, those men were plump looking.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, and Oz is just Neil Patrick Harris in the back room.
There was no small coincidence to me that they said, yeah, we'd love cosmetics to offer to the rabbit god. And, you got the priest behind the counter who's smoking a cigarette and playing games on his phone has just this, like, he's an autumn. He's got the new Clinique colors all over.
No.
Fabulous. Utterly fabulous. So we'll see, I guess, check in next month and see what the rabbit god has delivered unto us.
Well, that was just like that was, I think, the thing I was just most shocked about is because Taiwan, like most people know of it in the world as the Republic of China. Mm-hmm. And so like no one sees it as its own country, but it is just and I've never been to China, but just from what I understand, it is just night and day different. Yep. Like in many ways, it's more progressive than even here in the States. Like it just felt so welcoming, so open. Like it was just so beautiful. Like it was so cool. And they, like, not to be a bummer, they're probably the next country to be invaded. And like shortly, like while we were there, their president announced like they're going to spend $1 billion to create like an air defense system for their.
They're probably up. They've had one for a while, but it is a stressful thing to think about because Taiwan is very firmly in the Communist Party sights as a thing they want to bring to heel, and 2027 is the magic year. That's what I hear. Tulsa kids again. Book those trips before 27. Yeah. Cross your fingers. We'll see how it goes. An utter delight, and the food was great.
Food was awesome.
Taiwanese breakfast.
Hot.
Yeah, minus hot pot. Taiwanese breakfast. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Radish cakes. Carbs on carbs. Out the wazoo. But we had xian dou jiang, which is like a salty bean curd, like porridge. Loved it. The radish cakes, again, it bears repeating. Pork floss. Son of a bee sting. That pork floss was so good.
Yeah. I'm sure people are like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Yeah. Because I would have had no idea until I had it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, evidently there's a place in LA. Julia Lee told me about this. Hi, Julia. There's a restaurant in Monterey Park, I think, that does Taiwanese breakfast. Gonna go. Gonna get some youtiao and fan tuan and rou sou. It's gonna be good.
I can say too, I didn't know a lick of Mandarin, the language they speak over there. And very grateful that you know.
Oh yeah, I was so relieved to be able to talk to people, and even just like the waiter or the cab driver, whoever the hell.
Right.
It just there's such a level of like, oh, maybe it can't be. Maybe we won't get murdered this time if you can have a sense of what people are saying and whether you are.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's probably just like Midwestern humility. I knew like in this trip, I was like, I'm going to be the dumb American. Like, I know that. I just have to do my best to say thank you and like bow my head. Just sorry, I'm very dumb. Iced coffee, oat milk. You know what I mean? Like, I made peace with that because I was like, I have no time.
Yeah, I was utterly, I mean, the other thing is I was really scared that my Chinese was going to sound terrible. And rusty and stupid, but it came right back.
People would like the workers who you would speak to were pleasantly surprised. Remember, you could see like a light bulb turn on in their eyes, like when you would speak back to them. Like, so it is meaningful. Like I don't know. I don't feel rude not knowing it, but I can tell they appreciate when an American actually speaks their language.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard language is the other thing. Like when people speak it well, like, oh, this took effort to do. Mm-hmm. Good job, me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's such a great feeling to go and get. I mean, I just wonder, like, how much better would the experience in Japan have been if I could speak fluent Japanese, or if you could have spoken fluent Japanese? Like, there's just an entire other level of stuff that you get to experience. I
will say too, the languages, like, I don't speak French, but I lived in France for like a month last year. Not lived, I was visiting for like an extended period of time, and even though I don't speak French fluently, I could kind of tell what they were saying.
Yeah.
Mandarin, I went to the store by myself to pick up like a face thing, and I just had not clue what the lady, and she tried to help and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and you can't even guess the other, like there's not even any utility. Like you can't walk it through Spanish that you took in high school because it's nothing alike. So, but I mean, the other thing, aside from speaking the language, is like having Eddie there with Richard also made this night and day so much of a better trip, because Eddie, having lived in Taiwan and China forever, knew all of the stories, knew the myths, knew the history of the city, and you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, you want a Japanese guide when you go to Japan.
Although Tokyo is basically New York City. English all over.
Yeah. Except for that was Kyoto, was the cab driver.
Yeah.
Woo! Maybe the most stressed was we got in a cab and we get to the hotel and he's like, oh, no card. I'm like, oh, shit. And neither of us had Japanese yen on us.
You go on upstairs, honey. I don't want you to see this.
I mean, it was like, how do I suck my way out of this? Like, oh, God.
All right, kids, go on up.
You go on upstairs. I don't want you to have to see this.
Mommy's got to work.
Total ripoff of Roger from American Dad. Thank you. But he took us to the ATM. It felt a little bit like a shakedown. Like it, in another context, that was like, yeah, give me all of your money, you worthless, stupid foreigners. But we paid our way out of that. It was fine. We also had fabulous Nepali food.
Best I've ever had as far as Nepali goes.
The Nepalese momos that we had, they're Nepalese dumplings. I mean, the same as like a gyoza or a jiaozi, but they had it just packed full of Indian spices. Fabulous.
I imagine not too many people go there when they visit Kyoto.
It's like the entire kitchen staff.
When we walked in, the entire place was like, welcome! Thank you so much. Like, we got thanked 12 times leaving the restaurant.
What a darling time.
It was great.
Yeah, so go check out Nepalese food in Kyoto if you're there. And then remember that sushi in Japanese written in katakana is just two squiggly little lines. Really easy to remember.
Was there ever a part in the trip where you were like super annoyed with me, where you're like, I gotta go.
Anytime I had to watch you use chopsticks, that to me was difficult to see, actually.
I hate hearing that.
Yeah.
That's the whole trip.
Yeah, it was anytime we had to eat and you had to use chopsticks, I just had to very dedicatedly be like, well, that's just how he is. Not a lot's going to change that.
For the record, I think I use them the way most Americans use them, but like
poorly.
Which is poorly. But like, for example, I have friends when we go to sushi where they're like, give me a fork. And I'm like, that just feels wrong. And so like, I fake it and I whatever, but yeah.
I mean,
You lived in China for a year.
Yeah, I mean, it is such, and culturally, you know, there's such, like, I was slurping noodles and I remember at the airport, you're like, is that okay here? Because it's fucking gross.
I know. It's like, do you suppose?
Yes. You were horrified as I slurped my noodles, and I was like, "Oh, yeah."
I wanted to take your bowl and just
and
whack it.
And it totally, and at least in Beijing, when I lived there, you slurped your noodles. That meant you were enjoying it.
I think the British also slurp their tea, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. The Englishman never drank tea around me. I mean, so here's the other thing that I thought was delightful to discover. So I lived in Beijing in 2004. So this is pre-Xi Jinping, pre-Olympics even. So this is like a different China altogether. And my Chinese that I speak is very Beijing accented, very heavy, very coarse. And so to the Taiwanese, I sound like a northern barbarian who sells vegetables by the side of the road. Like my accent and the way I speak is just, I sound very uneducated and I sound very rough. And so there were so many times.
Meanwhile, I'm next to him going, hello.
Yeah, arigato. And Eddie had to tell me numerous times, like, okay, so in Beijing, you could say it. In Taiwan, that's really rude.
Yeah.
So many different things I did. Like we were standing around. There's a thing in China called the farmer squat, 农蹲, or I forget what the accent is, 农蹲, whatever. And it's where you just sort of squat down and you put your arms on your knees and you just chill out. You'll see in mainland China, usually in the countryside, people will be smoking cigarettes just squatted like that. It's considered extremely churlish to do in these days. And while we were standing around, I just wanted to stretch my knees and crunch my knees up. So I did a farmer squat. And Eddie just was like, we don't do that here. Oh, no. That's not what we do. Not in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine.
I'm like off in the corner peeing in the trees.
But it hadn't occurred to me that so much of even like how out of my depth I was, and I lived in Beijing for a year. I speak the language, but I was so out of my depth in Taiwan because all of the mannerisms I remember were suited to northern China, very different than Taiwan. The language I used was also extremely rude, considered. Like in Beijing, if you wanted the waiter to come to you, you'd say, 服务员. And I asked Eddie, he's like, oh, how do you get the waiter in Taiwan? And the translation is like, we just say, excuse me.
Yeah.
In Taiwan, I'm like, 服务员, which is just a hideous sound.
Yeah.
And to be called like that would make me want to punch somebody.
Right.
But that's normal in Beijing, or at least it was back then in Taiwan. It's like, oh, you need to leave now. So, it's travel's so important.
I think in Taiwan, there was only one moment where I was annoyed with you. And I remember it was the Wednesday, the day where I got food poisoning that night. We were supposed to go to the beach. And I didn't know we weren't going until like literally the last minute. And we get downstairs and you go, well, did you bring your sunblock? And I was like, no, what are we doing? Like, I have no idea what we're doing. I thought we were going to the beach. And you're like, well, we're going to go like hiking, which ended up being my favorite part of the entire trip.
We went to Wulai.
Yeah. And I remember looking at you and I wanted to shake you because as gay as you are just a man. Like you are just still a like poor male communicator. And I was like, how can this faggoty Anne be like, we're going to the hills. Where's the sunblock? Well,
we're still going outside, bro.
And so I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs. And you're like, well, we can't park out front. And I was like, I'm not getting torched on account of your poor communicating. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to get the sunblock and you're going to pick me up out front. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up being fine.
Yeah. Part of me, I could tell you were really irritated.
I was like off with your head.
Oh my God. I could tell how irritated you were. And so there was a little part of me that was like, how do we drive this to the hill?
And I remember you just kept bugging me. You were like, why are you annoyed? Or like, you just kept like poking the bear. And I was like, I don't think I'm annoyed. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this. Not in front of Eddie.
Crabby.
You're crabby. And I was like,
And you just like, I'm not crabby, right? You're crabby.
Oh, and I'm for sure crabby. Like, if I'm ever irritated, do not call me on it. Let me do my thing. And you just kept poking. I'll get over it in my own time. I will never, there's nothing anyone can do to make me not irritated. I just have to get over it. Even in the apology, I'll be like, yeah, it's okay. And it is okay. Like, I've forgiven you, but I'm like, still just like, yeah, no.
Mommy needs her time.
Mommy needs like Xanax.
Mommy needs a mojito and a Xanax. And a hot pop.
Oh, fuck. I will say, I got food poisoning 2 days before we were flying home. 13-hour flight. So I was just so grateful it cleared up like the day before.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to see the rabbit god.
I will say, too, that flight home, we were on a broomstick.
Oh, yeah. I had okay flight. You had a terrible flight.
We were, and again, I don't mind the side to side at all with turbulence, and I'm not even like a wimp when it comes to flying. It was just it wasn't necessarily rough turbulence, but it was the most turbulence I've had. It was every single hour there was bumps.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, you couldn't even fall asleep. Like it was pretty intense.
Yeah. I slept okay on the flight. We had very different flights, but you were also way in the back, one above the toilet, like one seat in front of the toilet. And I was comfortably ensconced in the aisle row, which is important to me as a mother.
Oh yeah, I was middle seat.
Yeah, you both times, right? Both flights across the Pacific.
Which again, you don't like this, but like I don't pay for flights.
Yeah.
Like I always use my points. And so like obviously like I got probably the cheapest tickets, and then I could have upgraded, I think, if I wanted to, but of course that would take planning, which
on the flight back. Okay, so about this whole don't touch me thing. That's you don't touch me. I may strike you during the flight. I was sleeping and I woke up with a start. Like a dog's dream. They'll just start like running and kicking. I do that too. And so there's a kid next to me. He's probably like 15. I straight up just hit him in the chest. As I just like jerked away from whatever it was. I looked at him, was like, I am so sorry. He was like, yeah, it's fine.
LOL.
Woo! That was really embarrassing. So glad it was a child and not a old person.
I think this is a good problem to have, but like obviously long flight, 2 really long flights, getting there and getting back. I have virtually no memory. Like I think because they're just so long, and I think you like actually get to like a meditative state. Like I watched a ton of movies, but I'm like, they were all old movies I've seen before. So I'm like, oh yeah, I suppose like I picked up bits and pieces, but I can't tell you one thing that happened on the way home.
I tried reading. I
read 2 books on the trip. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Sinners. That's the only movie. No, and then I saw Practical Magics.
Yeah. I've never seen that, and I need to for the remake.
That's right. Yeah. Practical Magic. It definitely hit me right in the 90s nostalgia. And it's like, oh, I wanted to grow up and be Nicole Kidman in Practical Magics. Like the 90s alt girl, it turns out, is my entire aesthetic.
100%.
In like, but through a dark mirror, maybe.
Very Liz Phair. Yeah. No, you're very, especially right now.
Right now I'm wearing an English tank top that I got in Taipei.
The cat looks buttes.
It makes no sense, but
oh yeah, the English you would see in Taipei. I was like, I had never really heard of that as like a construct. And so I saw this t-shirt this person was wearing, and it said, "Sorry starts in Boston." And I'm thinking of like the Revolution, the American Revolution. And I was like, is this about like the Boston, like, yeah. And
marathon.
Richard and everyone was like, no, that's English.
It's
like,
English.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. My favorite one was, it was another Boston t-shirt, and it said Boston coexist with Massachusetts. Which is just good advice, because I mean, Boston, woof. It's hard.
Renee Rapp, do you listen to her at all? So it's just she's probably up and coming. It's probably rude. She's been around. She has a few albums out, but she announced like her tour date, and she's really popular, especially with the gays. And somebody commented on her photo and was like, "Why no Boston?" And she replied, and she said, "I hate Boston." Not even a good excuse. Not even numbers aren't hitting in Massachusetts. Just I'm not going to Boston.
Boston's a hard city. It's a hard place to be. It's not my favorite, but what you can do.
So would you travel with me again?
Yeah, our next vacation we're doing Ghana.
I would love a safari. I would.
No, we're not doing safari. We're doing urban Africa. We're doing Accra, Ghana.
Okay.
And a lot of weird food again. Okay? Maybe a beach.
Deal.
Okay. It'll be, I don't know. Yes, we'll travel again. We could do, I haven't been to South America.
You haven't been to South America?
Never the once.
Not Mexico?
I've been to Mexico. That's North America.
Oh, is that?
I mean, yeah. It's South America. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Somebody clearly was not educated in Northwest Indiana.
I will tell you something about group projects. So and then we'll wrap it up. In my 9th grade geography class, I have the personality, and you are not going to be surprised, Everett Roberts, to learn this. I take over. Like, I just do it all. Like, I'm just like, I'm the best partner you could have. I'll do this. We'll get an A. and we had Saudi Arabia. And I remember doing my little thing, looking at all the beaches, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to Saudi Arabia. Like, this was like a dream of mine. And I was like,
You and Bill Burr.
I know. Fast forward now to, what's it,
Riyadh.
Riyadh, the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I was like,
Bill Burr dropped in and did 10 minutes at the gay bar it was at for the show the Tuesday before we left.
that's so bomb. That happens here all the time. It's never happened to me where I've ever done an open mic with someone of that nature, I guess.
Yeah, he did a very long, strident, and leather-lunged tirade against people who had a lot of negative opinions about him taking the gig in Riyadh. He had a lot of spicy opinions on that.
There's no justification, especially at his level. They got paid a ton. I understand that's a huge salary. If you or I got offered that, it would be a different story. That would change our lives. You are going to go work with Christopher Nolan. Yeah. Like, you just got off Broadway. You have so many specials. You're at the store. Like, you got money.
Yeah. If Riyadh had come calling to this little lady, okay, and said, hey, we got bottle caps and a couple ham sandwiches. Okay, you cover the airfare.
And that's like still like you're a piece of shit, but at least it's like forgivable because you're like, oh, like that's going to change his life.
Yeah. Written into the contract would have to be, I will survive and return home.
100%. Well, Jessica Kirsten went.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like, they're all trying to donate their stuff. And I'm actually really glad the Human Rights Campaign
returned the money.
Yeah.
Oh God, what a slap in the face. God. HRC, the most rotten, corrupt organization.
It's like, I get it. Like, ultimately, you're trying to help these organizations, but then to donate it, like, to like give yourself, it's just clearly a publicity move because you went there for the money, but then you're getting rid of the money. So why'd you go? Like, Anyway,
Riyadh, if you're listening, I would be delighted to take my homosexual dog and pony show.
Also, Bill Burr, if you need an opener.
Who's called this
really
little
gay?
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've reached the end of the recap for the most part. Let's hope I asked the rabbit. God,
Mommy hears you, and all she thinks is put a towel down for the blood.
That's enough. Let's turn it off.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show.